The Big Match Texaco Cup, production number 4909, date recorded the 4th of the 8th, 74, take 1.
And welcome again. It seems only like yesterday that we were signing off for the summer. Maybe it was only yesterday. But at any rate, as they say, here we go again. And on ITV, we start our football season today with action from the Texaco Cup, a restyled competition with more clubs competing, a lot of money at stake, and something that is new to British football. This year, 16 English teams play in 4 groups. They play on a league basis. The winners of those 4 groups go into the quarter-finals along with the 4 nominated Scottish clubs, and then they play on a knockout basis, home and away, with the final coming up in December. The thing that's new to British football is that in an effort to encourage goal scoring, which is very commendable, a team getting 3 goals picks up a bonus point, irrespective of the result of the game. Those then are the bare bones of the rules. Today we've got action from 2 of yesterday's matches: West Ham against Orient, an East London derby, and West Bromwich against Birmingham, an all-Midland battle. First of all, it's down to Upton Park for West Ham against Orient, where the grass has that lush early season look to it. The crowd is some 18,000 strong, not at all a bad one, mostly in summer dresses and shirt sleeves, and where symbolically, as you can see in the centre of the pitch, we're waiting for the balloon to go up on the new season. West Ham first out, led by Billy Bonds, back the day before from a 3-game tour of Norway, where they lost 1 and won the other 2 games. The only notable departure during the close season, of course, being Brian Robson, going back to the North East, so there are no new faces here. As for their opponents, Orient, they've only just come back from tour as well in Holland, led out by Ricky Heppelet, missing several of their best players though, and clearly with quite a task on their hands here against the First Division side West Ham at Upton Park. These then are the 2 teams. West Ham being forced to make a late change because defender Mick McGivern is not fit, and Pat Holland takes his place with Johnny Ayres now getting a substitute spot. In the Texaco Cup, incidentally, they also have substitute goalkeepers. Bobby Ferguson is the man for West Ham. Orient also had a blow just before the kick-off. Derek Posse, their new signing from Crystal Palace, still has a niggling knee injury, and manager George Pecci decided not to risk him. So several other key players also out for Orient, but at least it gives youngsters like Fisher and Cunningham their chance. Here's another youngster, Mervyn Day of West Ham, one of our popular ITV World Cup men, of course. Then there's Trevor Brooking, who's now settled his differences with the West Ham club. And for Orient, a first look at 2 of those youngsters I mentioned. Bobby Fisher, who's only 17 and he'll be playing in midfield, and playing his first game for the club, 18-year-old Laurie Cunningham from Finsbury Park in London. But now the crowd at Upton Park waits for referee Ray Toseland of Kettering to get the season underway.
So the 1974-75 competitive season gets underway with this East London derby. West Ham attacking the goal to our right in the darker shirts with white shorts. A lot of pride at stake out here, which will count for a lot. A lot of cash at stake as well, with Texaco having injected some £120,000 into the game for this competition. The 16 clubs who start all are guaranteed £1,500 each, and the winner of this restyle competition in December in the final will get £6,000. So there's pride and there's cash and there's the incentive of a winning start as well. And here's Stuart Brooking with a chance straight away, foiled at the very last though by Phil Hoadley, coming in the nick of time to save Orient a lot of embarrassment, giving Brooking quite a whack there. Cunningham, Heppelet, Brisley, beaten that time by Brooking, and there's a good ball from Brooking if Gould can pass it onto it. Still with Bobby Gould, and Hoadley again covering up so well at the back. Brisley down and injured, And Orient disputing that corner. John Jackson, I suppose, under a certain amount of pressure from Ray Goddard, the other very experienced and efficient Orient goalkeeper. Terry Brisley all right again. So it's a corner then to West Ham. Trevor Brooking again will take it. Tommy Taylor at the far post. With Jerry Queen stalking him every yard he moves. Clyde Best will jump for that one. There's a chance maybe to turn it back into the side netting. The shot was always on and Best very nearly made it count. Brisley for Orient. Jerry Queen. Fisher playing it back again for Hoadley. Tried to find Cunningham on the far side, but Cunningham had come inside, and he's got the task of trying to beat Lampard. But Lampard then gives it to Fisher. Flick back with time for Boyle to cross it if he wanted to. Cunningham neatly there, tricking Frank Lampard, but the ball goes out of play. Orient's throw with John Boyle. And that's going to be an Orient corner off Johnny McDowell. Laurie Cunningham taking it. Tom Wally's gone right in. A funny old corner. And the 18-year-old lad wouldn't be too happy with that. His first senior game. So Mervyn Day takes the goal kick for West Ham. Again Hoadley beating Clyde Best in the air. McDowell doing likewise against Fairbrother. Here's Bobby Fischer. And now to Ricky Hepplett. Roffey. Queen. Quarter of an hour gone. Still no score. Hepplett teasing Brooking. Finding Roffey. Planted in again. Queen coming in and deflecting it, but that time Frank Lampard was alive to it. Brisley, the shortest man in the Orient side, almost winning it well in the air. Fisher. Boyle with a long streaking shot that might have fooled Mervyn Day. Bouncing awkwardly, but Day, his huge body, firmly behind it. Boyle. Whoops. Cunningham. Now for Fairbrother. Cunningham again. Oh, I don't think that'll reach Boyle. McDowell to Brooking. Now what can he do? He's got Best in a lot of space here on the right. Now can Best make something of Roffey? That's a good looking cross. Just a little too high for Bobby Gould, who I think felt that somebody was behind him. Best somehow screwed that across with tremendous power from a very, very tight position indeed. Taylor. West Ham beginning to build up with a lot of thought from the back, not so much there though. And so Brisley, Fairbrother, don't think has quite got the speed, and Mervyn Day takes it into his own hands, or rather his right foot, to get that one away for West Ham. Clyde Best, who's had little change so far out of Phil Hoadley. Barry Fairbrother and McDowell. Hoadley again. Roffey away. McDowell. Queen eventually winning it in the air. And it will come for Brooking now in another space. Gould away on his right, on his left rather. And Clyde Best here on his right. Played short for Brooking again. Couldn't quite get it over. And also Orient showing a lot of calmness there on the edge of their own area. Boyle. Halfway through the first half now, still not a goal in a competition that is aimed at producing goals, with the bonus, remember, of 1 point for every side that scores 3, whether they win, lose or draw by scoring 3. But both Orient and West Ham, for all their good attacking intentions, still some way from getting that bonus point. 0-0 halfway through the first half. Boyle. Mervyn Day. Johnny Boyle again to Cunningham. Oh, neatly tricking Lampard. Good piece of play there by the youngster. And Lampard had to pull him back and concede the free kick. This 18-year-old from Finsbury Park, Laurie Cunningham. Snatched by Orient from Arsenal's doorstep. And here he is again, Cunningham. A little flick that didn't quite come off for Boyle. And now it's Brooking. Billy Bonds. Taylor. Patton. Again, Orient now with so many players back, making West Ham really work for every bit of space they can find and losing it there. Looking very well organised indeed at the moment, Orient. Dow with the throw. And now Clyde Best. Brooking. The cross by him. Billy Bonds is in there! Oh, what a piece of work there by Bonds. And it had to be pushed away by John Jackson. George Petchy, the Orient manager, who's done so much to make Orient such a well-organised side, breathing with relief, I would think, there, that his goalkeeper somehow managed to get a hand to that ball. I would think he probably pushed it against the post before it went behind. Good header by Billy Bonds, and here's the corner. And there's Bonds! And this time he's got it in! From Graham Patton's corner, Billy Bonds, who came so close with the header, but produced the corner. As that corner came over from Patton, there's Billy Bonds just tucking it in, coming from nowhere. And that's 1-0 to West Ham. So Billy Bonds, the skipper, the inspiration, putting West Ham into the lead. One of the occasions when Orient really in defence didn't look so well organised. Certainly for the first 25 minutes of this game, they played with great composure. So Jackson, who made such a tremendous save there from that close-range header by Bonds, I think a little bit let down by his defence. Now Best versus Hoadley. Brooking presented to him. And a foul on Trevor Brooking by Terry Brisley. Free kick to West Ham. Billy Bonds is over it. Best and Gould on the far side waiting for it. But I would have thought they might well try and bang something from that sort of range, and it might be a short one there for McDowell, who's coming up, or for Patton, who has got a really fearsome free kick. Boyle and Fisher in that wall. Brisley and Cunningham alongside him. There's Patton. Didn't really allow him to get his old left boot back there and give it a whack. Best. Holland not quite reading that. Now Fairbrother. Hoadley to Cunningham. Well, a nice stride about him, this youngster. And there's a good little ball now for Fisher. Can he make this one go? Green surely will make it go. No. Well, Orient really missed a chance there. Queen and Fisher both had quite presentable openings there, particularly Jerry Queen. And really made nothing of it. McDowell. Flick forward nicely there by McDowell to Brooking, and McDowell continuing his run so well. Oh, and what a good shot! Tipped away beautifully by John Jackson. McDowell really let that one go. He scored twice in Norway on their close season tour, and Ron Greenwood was saying he's looking for some goals from this fellow this season. He wants at least 10 from his midfield men, and McDowell very nearly showed them the way to do it. Of course, it was from a corner on this side of the field from which West Ham scored their solitary goal. Here's Padden again, and that time Tom Whalley was covering well for Orient. A good defensive header, getting a lot of height on it. But here's Padden once more for West Ham. Played back nicely there for Coleman and curled in first time. Bonds is in there. Lampard too. Coleman again. Now Fisher. Epaulet challenged and beaten by Bonds, and here's Best in space on the far side for Bobby Gould. Turning nicely there to beat Whalley, curling again, but Fisher also doing a good job at the back that time for Orient. Holland. And a throw to West Ham. Now having rather the better of things, West Ham. And waiting for Graham Padden. Fairly slight man, but a slight man who's got a good long throw when he wants to pull it out. And that's one of his good long throws. Best is up there too, and Gould. Well, that wasn't a very good header by Bobby Gould. He wouldn't be too pleased with that. He had virtually what was a free header at goal after Best had set it up for him from that long throw by Padden. So it's still 1-0 to West Ham. Epaulet, Taylor, Gould going in again, and now Roffey. Fairbrother in chase, and Taylor away very acrobatically. West Ham always at the moment finding somebody available. Holland now finding that Graham Padden is available on the far side, and now it's Lampard. Forward this time for Brooking. Chip there neatly and accurately for Bobby Gould, and straight in touch. He stole 1 yard too many. Challenge from behind by John Boyle on Trevor Brooking, and I think really the referee has got to speak to him. I think he's not going to book him. Well, I don't honestly think John Boyle could argue too much with that. It was a very rash tackle indeed there on Trevor Brooking. So that's a booking for John Boyle. Roffey back for Cunningham again. Crossed in once more, that time it's Holland getting it away, only as far as Fisher. Now for Cunningham once more. Confidence enough to dwell on that ball and then slip it past 3 West Ham players, but now it's Padden making the breakout for West Ham. To Clyde Best, Padden going on, Brooking coming up in support as well. There's Trevor Brooking nicely in space, and Jackson out quickly and well. Beautiful piece of play there by Brooking, darting through that Orient wall, taking Best's pass, but what a very good save indeed by John Jackson. Now Hoadley. Brooking dispossessing him. Playing injury time now at the end of the first half. There can't be too much of it. And Mervyn Day in possession for West Ham. Well, Orient without some of their best players like David Payne, Derek Downing and Derek Possey, of course. But going in this goal down, playing well in spite of that Orient, showing a lot of organisation. But the one moment when they failed was when Billy Bonds, number 4, came in from that corner and secured that one goal that puts West Ham into the lead at half-time. Well, a pretty enterprising first half. I'm sure we're going to get another one in the second half, and we'll be right back in a couple of minutes with that second half from Upton Park. So Orient then get us away at the start of the second half as we say welcome back. I should mention a couple of the players who are missing from the Orient side that I didn't mention before half-time, Peter Allen and Mickey Bullock. So it's very much a weakened Orient side today. West Ham, of course, without Mick McGivern. There he is, who joined them from Sunderland last season and really strengthened their defence no end. With Brian Robson having gone back to the northeast, I suppose apart from McGivern, this is virtually the side that West Ham would hope to start the league season with. So Orient doing pretty well to hold them to 1-0, but obviously with a lot to do now to make up that ground in this second half. Brooking, and now Holland again. Had Holland really beginning to enjoy this game now, and there's Brooking, shrugged off that ball though by Wally. Taylor, played back comfortably there to Mervyn Day. Heppolet, Roffey, Queen. Played on nicely there for Cunningham. Beautiful stride this youngster's got, as you can see again there. And there's a nice little pass by him that very nearly came off. That showed a very alert football brain there by the 18-year-old Cunningham as well. He's done one or two good things in this game, which must give Orient fans a lot to hope for in the future. But now West Ham coming away again with Patton. Skirting round Fairbrother very neatly and finding Frank Lampard. Bobby Gould, but notice how quickly the number 9 Fairbrothers got back. That's the sort of effort that Orient are putting into this game. Billy Bonds, Patton again, but still West Ham coming forward with a lot of skill. Played there again, into space for Gould. By Graham Patton, a beautifully placed ball there, maybe just a yard or so too far ahead of Bobby Gould. The idea is so right though. Orient now warming up Les Bennett, the substitute. Cunningham again. Nicely played there by Laurie Cunningham, and here's Heppolet to Bobby Fischer, a miscue, and it won't fall again for Orient. Queen though, Boyle, Queen again. Cunningham, Bonds challenging hard, and this time Holland can bring it away. Now has Best got the legs of Roffey. Brookings come up in support, and Best has spotted him. Played deeper this time for Bobby Gould, and he tried to get it in for Graham Patton. Coleman underneath this one for West Ham, but it comes straight to Fisher. Queen. And now for Cunningham again. A lot of poise and confidence about him. Boyle. Crossed in again. What a good cross there by Boyle. Always curling away from those defenders. Wally. And now Best. Roffey going at him. Billy Bonds. Brookie. Deft touch there. And now Fisher. Fairbrother. And a throw to Orient. And they want to bring on their substitute now. They're trying to attract the referee's attention. Peter Angel there, the trainer. Now it's Fisher. Fairbrother tried to do almost a Muller type turn there on McDowell, and it didn't quite come off. And it'll be a goal kick, and now I think they'll bring him on. They still haven't attracted the referee's attention, but now I think they have. And indeed Peter Bennett, known as Les, will come on. And I fancy it might be Johnny Boyle who's going off. I think it's number 2, John Boyle, who's going off. So Boyle goes off. He's been booked in this game, and Bennett will come on. Brooking. Still Trevor Brooking. Still with Brooking, and there's the chance. Was that handball? Well, the crowd on this side of the field feels sure that was handball by Bobby Fischer as Brooking went through. But the linesman and referee both ignored it. They've given a corner, which Brooking himself will take. Brooking with the corner. Now Heppolet getting it away to Cunningham. So a throw to Orient. Back with John Jackson. Elbows by Taylor. And a free kick for Orient on Jerry Queen. Brisley with the kick for Orient. Queen going right in there, so too was Heppolet, and they very nearly made something of it. But in the end it turns out another goal kick as the sun comes out. Really giving West Ham now a summary appearance, and those dark and dismal and dreadfully cold days of November, December and January are a long, long way away. Billy Bonds with a throw for West Ham. Brooking back for Coleman and turned inside and stopped that time by Roffey. Here's Keith Coleman again though. Played for Holland. Wasn't a very good pass, but Holland made something of it in the end. Lampard now for Patton, who loves to maraud down this left touch line with that left foot. That very nearly came off again for West Ham, and it's not away yet. As Clyde Best hammers one in. Beautifully taken though by John Jackson. And as you saw there, the slightest fumble would have meant a certain goal for Bobby Gould. Beautifully clipped in by Clyde Best and beautifully taken by Jackson. Fisher again for Bennett. Fisher, Wally taking up a good position there, rounding the referee, and Day just pushing that behind. A slight misunderstanding there between Johnny McDowell and Mervyn Day. I think Day felt that McDowell might just have got a foot to it and got it away, and when he saw that he didn't, he really had to react so quickly, the big man. Got down just to push it round the corner. So the short corner taken by Orient, and here's Jerry Queen crossing it again once more. Fairbrother with a header, but it's wide. Well, West Ham, that might waken them up a little bit in the last 12 minutes or so. Just this slender one-goal lead and one error in a defence can tie the whole thing up again. McDowell. And Johnny Ayres is going to come on as the West Ham substitute. Fisher for Bennett, for Fisher, and now for Hoadley. And here's Wally. Again playing with a lot of confidence, Orient, considering what a weakened side it is they've got out this afternoon. Well, that pass never looked like coming off, and Coleman was able to get in very quickly. And now Bobby Gould at last shaking off Bill Roffey. Here comes the cross. Clyde Best on the far side. Taking a photographer into the crowd as well. I think Best in two minds as he went in there, whether to go in and try with a header or try to turn it back with his foot. One of the most popular West Ham players, Johnny Ayres, waiting to come on, and it's Bobby Gould who goes off. So Johnny Ayres is on and Bobby Gould is off. Johnny Ayres, born just up the road at Wapping. Heffelet. 6 minutes to go. Roffey to Brisley. Heffelet. Billy Bonds, seeing that Clyde Best was in a bit of space, but that was very quickly filled by Orient defenders, and there's Wally lining up a shot, and that was really no more than a foot wide. Wally really burst into that space there, and he had time to size it all up. No more than a foot wide of that post. Mervyn Day really hasn't had too much to do. Whatever he's had to do, he's done with that same calm assurance that he showed throughout most of last season. Wally forward to Fairbrother, and now for Bennett as we go into injury time. Fairbrother again. Fisher flicking it on, and Frank Lampard getting it away. Pat Brooking. Ayres. Too far ahead of Brooking, though, for him to be able to make anything of it. And now Bennett. Wally. Trying to get that old left boot going, no doubt. Jerry Queen hoping to find the nearest chance, but it was denied them again. The last seconds of the game. Brooking now. Referee looking hard at his watch now. The watch out of his pocket, the watch on his wrist. All of them saying that we are well into injury time now. And there goes the final whistle. Billy Bonds playing it back to Mervyn Day. In fact, it was the goal by Billy Bonds, whose goal in the first half separated these two sides. in this Texaco Cup game here at West Ham. Number 7 there, just going in, Laurie Cunningham, the young Orient lad, playing his first game and having a lot to remember. Some good little touches there by him, but overall a slight feeling of disappointment, I think. But a final scoreline here at Upton Park that reads West Ham United 1, Orient 0.
Well, a gentle and, as I said, a rather disappointing start to the season there at Upton Park. And this is how the results went in that Group 2 of the Texaco Cup. West Ham 1, Orient 0, as you know. Luton Town 1, Southampton 1. Meanwhile, in Group 3, which was based up in the Lancashire area, Blackpool 1, Manchester City 1, both goals in the last 10 minutes of the game there. Oldham Athletic 4, Sheffield United 0. That was the real shock of the day, and Oldham the only side in the Texaco Cup yesterday to pick up that one bonus point for scoring 3 goals or more. So well done, Oldham. Meanwhile, we have in Group 4, up in the northeast, Sunderland 2, Newcastle United 1, and Middlesbrough 0, Carlisle United 1. Meanwhile, Group 1 was centred mainly in the Midlands, and the main match there was the meeting at the Hawthorns of West Bromwich Albion and Birmingham City. This was the match covered for us by ATV, and our commentator there, Hugh Johns.
Referee Harry New gets this Texaco Cup game underway then. His linesman, incidentally, Mr. Walter Harvey of Redditch, Mr. Brian Adams of Cannock. Albion in the blue and white stripes, white shorts, attacking the goal on your right. And Birmingham, because of the slight colour clash, have changed to their brand new second strip, a red outfit with a pair of white stripes down the front. Good crowd here this afternoon for very much a local derby. So this cup tie has got extra needle in it. John Roberts for Birmingham. Kendall coming in on that ball, takes it from Hartford. Little Paul Hendry. For Kendall. Ball back from Burns to Hendry. It's an easy clearance for Robertson, and he made hard work of it, in fact. Quick one for Hendry again. Harry New signals, and Albion ball, in fact. John Osborne there. Kendall. Hughes wins it back for Albion. Hartford. Wilson. Johnston. Hartford. Tackle then by Ray Martin. Morton for Campbell. Kendall. Morton. Kenny Burns. Pendry. Birmingham looking the neater of the two sides in their control and build-up at the moment. Albion still looking for the long big one down the middle of the park. Wilson now for Albion. Johnston. Chased by Martin. Cantello now. Nobody wide on the right side. Now Nisbet gives him a target. Johnston. Tackled by Pendry on Alistair Brown, off the ball, in fact. Gives the free kick to Albion. Fairhead, number 4, reflectively standing there, Len Cantello. One of the two players being watched here this afternoon. Aiming for Weil. Pendry away. Burns for Campbell. Gives the ball away. Johnston now. Taking on Pendry. Through the gap. Tries the shot. Well, Willie Johnson was taking some stick from Hartford then. Hartford saying you should have passed the ball to me. But I think Johnson was entitled to the whack at goals. He was off target, but it's good to see the winger having a bang at it. Pendry. Through the middle is Hendry. John Osborne hasn't had a shot to save yet. Hendry up for Burns. Hap. Kendall moving right. Looking for Campbell. Good head away by Cantello. Campbell got it in the head as well. He's down hurt, but Hartford takes it on for Albion. Outside on his right there was a better ball for Ali Brown. He tried for Lyndon Hughes through the middle. Campbell still down injured in the Albion penalty box and is therefore in an offside position. The question now whether he's interfering with play. He's up now holding his head. Hendry across. Osborne up as Burns tries to get there. Certainly looks as though Campbell's forehead has been cut. There's a fair bit of blood over the eye. He's off the field as Alistair Brown takes it on for Albion. Lyndon Hughes is in the middle, but he's the only one. Brown waits for more support. Going to try the shot. Made a fair angle for himself. Latchford made the save look relatively simple. Nisbet. So, this piratical figure at the moment, Alan Campbell, obviously with a couple of stitches in his forehead. Brown for Lyndon Hughes. Nisbet's offering him a target on the right side. There he comes. Against Pendry. Tony Brown, and quickly out by John Roberts. Hendry. Kendall. Not a good return ball at all. Johnston. He had Martin going then. Really had him going. Oh, Lord love us. Oh, that was superb. The crowd loved it. He had Martin going 4 ways at once. So excited. And then all the suds deserted his boots. Campbell now. Kendall, a good punch ball forward. Pressure on Robertson. Well read by Roberts. By Burns, rather. Very well read by Ken Burns, and a terrible back pass then, the headed back pass. Sold John Osborne right up the river without a paddle. Did very well. Kenny Burns, hands on hips, very nearly stealing the goal there. So it's a corner kick. Case then of a goalkeeper who'd come halfway instead of going all the way. It's the corner then from Paul Hendry. Knocked out by Robertson. Morton and Tony Brown for Albion. Johnston. Kendall wins it back for Birmingham. Johnson having a go at him, getting ready to have a whack at him. Well, that was boiling up 2 or 3 seconds before it actually happened. Free kick, Kendall. Got an offside flag down on my left at that moment, but referee Harry New has disregarded it. Martin. Hatton. Kendall, an early one across. Well, it turned out to be a shot. And I'll do him the credit of saying that I was wrong and he was right. It was always going to be a shot. It looked like a cross as it started from up here. Cantello then. Wild. Alistair Brown. Against Pendry. Did it well. Nobody there. That was a chance. That was a well knocked across ball. Albion should have done something with it. Birmingham breaking back. Kendall now. Morton, a dummy for Campbell. It comes for Morton. Tried a first timer. Oh, it was a great try too by Roy Morton. So a look of anger on the face of Roy Morton, which could easily have been highlighted with smiles and joy if Osborne hadn't made the save. The corner then, Pendry takes it from Campbell. Gallagher on. Osborne very nearly sold by Weil. Cut right across him. Cantona. That's a nobody's ball. 10 minutes to go to half-time, and still a clean score sheet here in this Texaco Cup game. Orton. Martin on the far touchline. Curling it down the wing for Henry. Robertson very bravely putting his head in as the studs of Paul Henry were showing about his eye line. Just seconds of this first half left as Kendall takes plenty of time over this throw-in. Martin is the obvious ball back. Now he goes for Henry instead. Kendall, tackle on Henry by Ray Wilson after the ball had gone. Little Henry's been in the wars this afternoon. There he is. Behind him, Howard Kendall deciding on what he'll do with this free kick. Over Osborne. John Osborne didn't really know much about that one. The anxious face of Alistair Robertson there. Kenny Burns had a fraction of luck on the far post, then he might have got a touch. Paul Henry. To Curler. Osborne had that one all right. Right up the head of Bob Hatton. And that plastic knuckle joint of his stood up to good pressure in the first half. A first half which has ended scoreless, but a valuable piece of work for both teams as they tried out new tactical formations. A lot of good things worked, but the last thing we want, or the one thing we wanted, the ball to go in the net, that didn't work. No score in this Texaco Cup match at half-time, and West Bromwich Albion have made one change. There is number 12, Ray Shaw, on the field in the striking position which was occupied by Alistair Brown in the first half. Campbell still with his head bandaged. Pendry, way back for Latchford. The sun's gone in, it's a little cooler now, which should suit these players. Hatton is all right. Look for the offside flag, it didn't come. Albion caught very badly then as Hatton went in on the chance. Gaping goal to his left, and he tried for the difficult one on the near post. He's wide with it. John Osborne took a little knock from Hatton then. Let's see if that limp is serious. It looks all right there. Sure, gliding in the middle. Hughes wins it. That's not a bad ball. Shaw did well. Dave Shaw did well to get on the end of that and whack it in. Good reaction, quick reaction save from Dave Latchford, gives the corner. Asa Hartford to take the corner. Still looking for the first goal. And Latchford is there. Foul by John Weil. looks useful. Very nearly managed to sneak one in, top left-hand corner. Burns getting away from the Albion defenders more often than I'm sure Don Howe would like, the Albion manager. Gallagher gets it forward. Wilson, gift of a ball to Hendry. Campbell. Good running here by Burns, just needs a touch. Fine reaction save then from John Osborne. Good save. Osborne, who is not on contract yet. It's as though he could be earning one. Saves like that. Handball. Birmingham, who won only 2 away matches in the league last season, both back end of the season against Coventry and Southampton, don't look at the moment as though they're going to approach the new league season with high ideals, high hopes of improving on that tally. Burns up. Weil wins it. Nisbet away after it, but we shan't have any more. Referee Harry New decides that that's the end of the afternoon's entertainment. So a fairly disappointing game in many respects. In the greatest respect, of course, the fact that we haven't got any goals to show for 90 minutes of Texaco Cup tie football here at the Hawthorns.
Yes, a bit of a shortage of goals there as well. And if you're wondering about those black armbands, they were worn as a mark of respect for Tommy Glidden, who was an Albion player in the 30s, later became a director, who died recently. The results in that group then in the Texaco Cup were like this: West Bromwich Albion 0, Birmingham City 0, Norwich 2, 2 goals by Ted McDougall, Peterborough United 1. That's it then, the competition aimed at producing more goals, and alas, we could only find 1 from our 2 games this weekend. We've got to hope for better things when we continue with our Texaco Cup coverage on ITV in the coming week. We've got highlights from a top game on Wednesday night, that's at 11 o'clock, and there'll be more Texaco Cup action for you to enjoy next Sunday afternoon. Now, from all of us here, it's goodbye.